Hey, so thanks for popping back in. I do apologize. Previous video camera just completely shut down. We're back. I thank you for popping back in, catching me on round 2 of bullying. So I won't do a whole lot of explanations about things that happened previously. I'm just going to jump right back in. At the end of video 1, regarding bullying, I had made an analogy in that video talking about physically trying to go out and move. I just kind of used an SUV, like if you were to go out in your neighborhood and see a large SUV, trying to physically move that. And the analogy in that was, if you try to physically move something as large as an SUV, like brakes on and all, in park, brakes on, you're not moving that vehicle, you are just gonna stop. When you realize you're not successful or you're not going to be successful at doing something, you give up, you stop. There's no point in continuously doing it. So the analogy in that was to reference, and not all people. Let's just say not all people, but some people, when they're tempting and testing and picking and just poking at you, once they realize they're not successful, most people will stop. I don't know if it's closer to say some or most. I believe most people, because people do things for a reaction. They want to get a reaction. They want to get you riled up. They want to get you. And so my point in making that analogy and referencing it to bullying and how I think it's wise to speak to your children, give them that banter back and forth. I made in the first video, like, someone's picking on their shoes. I don't think kids do that anymore today, but I don't know. Maybe they still pick on shoes and clothes, how a child comes to school. And so to give them that banter, you don't like my shoes. They feel real comfortable on my feet. I don't like your shirt. I love this color on me. It's just a way of letting them know, like going out trying to move that large vehicle. It ain't working. It's not going to work. You're not going to shake me. You're not going to rattle me. And you definitely are not going to move me. So, for the adults that are watching, I know that analogy makes sense to you. You're right. If I'm outside trying to move a car and can't, I'm going to stop. So when you take that and apply it differently, where a 6, 10, 12, 8-year old can understand it, it'll make sense to them. You just have to, in layman's term, break it down for a child to understand that you can still be kind even while being bullied. You could give a safe, cute banter back, like someone's trying to attack something. You can compliment that same something. Someone's trying to tear you down, build it up. Like, let them know, joke's on you. That mean thing you said didn't move me. It didn't rattle me. It didn't shake me. And again, 9 times out of 10, they're going to stop. They're going to go find the weaker child that they can move, that's going to break down and cry and go tell someone and maybe get their friends involved. And there's a big hallway brawl, whatever. Like, it's just some advice. I love it because it's how I've navigated my entire life, even my adult life still. But it depends on what day you catch me on. I got to be honest, family. I'm always talking about being transparent. It depends on what day you catching me on. If I've already had a bad day and a lot of things have annoyed me, you might be able to shake me. But shake, as they say, poke the bear. You may be able to poke me. Poking the bear is not a good thing, because by the time I get verbal with people, because I keep it classy, I keep it verbal, they don't like it. I'm on my mouth. It's reckless and da 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 da. I'm like, see, if you leave me in that lane, it's real safe, that slow lane, where I'm just cruising through, not bothering anybody and minding my business, then we're all good. It's a very safe place for everyone. But when you poke me and you keep pushing me over there to that fast lane, some people get in the fast lane and drive crazy. They're in the fast lane. I don't know why it gives some people the notion to think that it's a law. They can drive crazy and reckless. But that's what I get, crazy and reckless, verbally. So, telling too much on myself, right? But I'm being honest. I just say be mindful. I mentioned in part 1, making sure that you have enough open door policies in your home, that your children feel safe, that they know they're able to come and have a conversation with you. And they're not worried about, well, Mom, are you going to say something? Are you going to get in trouble? Are you going to go hit somebody's mom and go to jail? Again, that's not their concern. They need to know and trust that you as their parent know how to be mindful of how you approach adult situations or another adult, school staff, a parent. And so the other part of that I mentioned at the end was how a parent may come thank you. I mentioned, everyone's finances are different. So you may not be able to go buy a $15+ gift and give it to your child and say, that bullied child that you talked to me about last week, last month, let's go, to school and take this really nice gift and make that child feel nice or good today. Make that child feel, you be nice, make that child feel good today. And so I mentioned, go to the $1.25 store. Five and below is a step up. Dollar Tree has some really decent things. Five and below have some really nice things. Not to say that everyone can afford that. Some people on tight budgets and their bills and their finances, their food for their children or whatnot is all they can manage. I get that. These are just suggestions for people who may be able. A five and below gift, something cute, take it and let your child present it. And so I mentioned, you never know, the mom may be overwhelmed with joy. Like, oh my gosh, that was so sweet. What kid gave this to you? What child gave this to you? I want to thank their mom or whatever. They're going to know a 8-year-old didn't typically walk in the store and buy a gift, maybe. I don't know. But they would just probably want to thank you. And so it could become a family affair. A parent knock on your door, oh, thank you so much for letting, Tim bring this over to Jason. And then the parents can just build a bond that way. The children can become good friends. I think sometimes once the door is open for a child to be accepted, even with one child, because think about it, if that child's been bullied, your child goes and befriend that child, then it opens the door for whatever other friends your child has. If they're good kids, they're going to be nice and be like, oh, you're talking to Jason? Nobody likes Jason. Jason's always getting bullied. And then maybe they can all rally around. It's just like a domino effect, a chain effect. Start out something good and let it just flow. Let it just flow and see how it flows. Again, I really just want to wrap this video up by, just kind of short, by stating, be a parent at home first. And don't try to be a parent after a situation has escalated. Now you think you need to step in and talk to school officials and parents and get to the bottom and all that. Baby, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at home, less likely that it's going to happen that your child is out bullying someone. I didn't speak too much to that. Your child could possibly be the child that's doing the bullying. I kind of spoke part one about how a bullied child can be handled or treated by your child. But man, I would hate to think anybody in my community, my family members here on YouTube, are sitting back and not being responsive to your child possibly being a bully. Talk to your children about how it's not right. It's not a good thing. It's not a cool thing. It's definitely not a cute thing. The trouble, the repercussions and consequences that they can find themselves in if they find themselves thinking bullying is cute. I get you some analogies, some examples, some comparisons. Sit down and give 4 or 5 bullying scenarios to your child and ask them, how would you feel if it were you? That sometimes can double back around in people's brain and be like, oh, I didn't think of it like that. I thought bullying was cute and fun. But you're right. If somebody did it to me, if you depending on who your child is, your child may be like, I might want to fight. That's cool if they want to fight. We don't teach them that that's not what we need to do if someone's just being verbal. But it gives them another way of thinking, change their mindset. If they have the notion to think they might want to fight, that's okay for them to think and feel that way. We won't promote it, we won't encourage it, but it at least lets you know they get it. If that can make me so angry to laying hands on somebody, then maybe I shouldn't be doing it. Just do better. This topples into the last part of this video that I'm going to talk about. Then we're going to do a takeaway and wrap it up. Again, I thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the support. But where it takes me is these mass school shootings. Baby. Ooh, it's one of those things that I'm sure most of us in the world feel when anything happens. You always think it's not going to happen to you, not in your school district, not in your area, not in your neighborhood, not in your family, not in your home. I'm sure a lot of parents, I ain't going to say too many, but in my thought process, I don't have any facts or any data, so I don't know if I'm right or wrong. But I don't think too many of them didn't see signs. And again, some people are unaware. I'm a very much so aware person. One day I'm gonna do a whole video on me, who I am, my quirks, my good, my bad, my wrong, my rights, and how I'm aware of those things. So I always say I don't really need to go to therapy for counseling for somebody to tell me anything about me. Baby, I could tell you all about me, the good and the bad, because I own my stuff. Okay, I own it all. So I think some parents who are aware, they know because the warning signs are there. I think there are some parents who probably are not aware, totally oblivious to whatever's going on with their child. Or you have some parents that have the issues with their child and it's, oh, that's just Mike. No, baby, that's not just Mike. Mike needs some help, some therapy, some medication, some talking to. And back in 1970, 80, 90, probably a good old spanking, a whipping. You know what I'm talking about, family. So just don't excuse behavior. If you have that child and you see those warning signs, I suggest dealing with it on whatever level you can or need to. Deal with those issues that could prevent something major happening, even if it's as major minor, I'm going to say major minor, as bullying. It's major to the child that's being bullied. It's minor because it's not a school shooting. But at the same time, who wants that to be a part of your story, your life, your child's life? I don't know any parents like, yeah, I want my child to be the next school shooter. I don't know nobody that's walking around saying that. So I'm saying be mindful that we're having those conversations with our children. Because if you are 30 plus, 40 plus, 30 plus, you know how we were raised. And even though we had children that did bad things, I don't recall mass shootings. I don't recall it. Enough was instilled in us to where we knew our limitations on being bad. I think that's the big thing that those of us who are older battle with and got our heads like a puppy dog. What is going on with our children? And these things and these shootings, we don't get it. We don't understand it. But I'll tell you what, it starts in the home. Like any other form of discipline, it starts in the home. And if you're not doing the work there, your children are likely to spiral out of control. And then who wants to be on the news? Who wants to be known for that? Who wants to talk about it? Who wants the world to know it, hear about it, see it, and you got to deal with people possibly suing you, children dead at the hands of something your child did. Oh, I definitely say try to nip it in the bud, try to get ahead of it. One last thing I'm going to say before I wrap it up with the takeaway is, I don't know about you, but I've learned over the years a lot of jobs are now offering free counseling sessions. Now, what I know is to staff. I don't know how that extends out to problem or troubled or concerned children you may have concerns about. I don't know. But even in therapy, if you're paying out of pocket, there's so many different ranges for therapy. Like, people still charge $60, $70 for sessions, some 100 and more. Figure out what works. If you're in a co-parenting situation, talk to that parent. Hey, we need to get Jonathan in some sessions. Figure it out. Because at the end of the day, I can guarantee you will feel so much better knowing you took the steps to figure out if your job offers therapy for family members, particularly your children. Figuring out how to pay, going through a pay scale of therapists. Oh, they are way too high. These are affordable. And if all else fails, getting with the co-parents, if that's what you're doing, and figuring out how to split it. Forget co-parenting. Ask your aunt, your sister, hit me up. If your child is in some danger, like people do, what is it? What is it I'm looking for? GoFundMe's. They do them for, in my opinion, some really silly things. Of course, some people lie and they're fake. We're not even going to talk about those. But a legitimate cause that I have a troubled child, I can only imagine the amount of people that would rally around you in support. Because a mother to mother, If you are a mother doing it, I can only imagine the amount of support you would get from another parent. One, being thankful that you're doing an outpour, you're reaching out for help. And secondly, people across the world, you're asking for help. The first thing gonna pop in my mind, I don't know where you are unless you disclose that. Are you in Alabama? Are you in California? Are you in Georgia or Florida? Are you in New York? Where are you? Because baby, if you trying to save your child from being destructive, what could potentially save my child, because I don't know where you live, what area you in, then thank you. Let me add to the cause. Let me support this cause, because you're watching this person have a GoFund up or maybe create a video and talk about it on a TikTok or whatever. The first thing I would think is, she didn't say where she's located. She may be right here where I'm at. Let me support the cause and get our baby some help. And if nothing else, I don't have any children in school. Let's just say I'm one of those people. I still don't want anybody else's child to be harmed because you have a certain concern about your child. I would commend and uplift that parent for wanting to get the help, and definitely I would support. So we're going to move into the takeaway. And so I'm just going to kind of double back. That takeaway is going to be, um, once you realize you can't make certain things happen, people stop. So I say find those tactics, those techniques that could help your child push off a bully, but not in an aggressive way. A cute banter, going back and forth with them. With, you said something negative, well, I like it anyway. Or even if they say something negative, your child could just respond with "thank you." They don't even have to have any, if they're not creative with their words, because everybody's not creative with their mouth. "Thank you," and keep it moving. Make sure you have that open door policy, that your children are comfortable to come and have a conversation with you, and they're not worried about what type of trouble you might get into for addressing the situation. Um, Being supportive to a child that may be bullied, doing something nice, befriending them. If you're comfortable, maybe invite them out or over for a play date, buying that gift we talked about, $1.25, five and below store, buying something, presented it. And then the last takeaways is to, well, not only make sure that your child is being kind and reaching out to a child, that they have that opportunity to possibly be around your child's other friends, so they get to be in that larger circle. So just finding something creative, maybe something I didn't even mention in this video, that it's like, oh, bully child, you know. And then the last things is that takeaway, to add to the takeaways, would be, if it is your child that is the bully child and you see those signs, any type of behavioral issues, there is way too much help, assistance, therapists, people that pay for services for you, programs. Like, do your research, get online, Google it, YouTube it. There's resources, there's people, there's organizations. Get the help for your child if it's needed. If they're suggested to another parent, kindly. It's always they say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. If your child coming in every day talking about somebody that's bullying them, if the mama ghetto and ratchet, she's still approachable. She's approachable. Did I do the lip thing again? I told myself stop doing it with these little tiny lips, right? But she's approachable. There's a way to even speak to the most high energy person. There is. So I don't know. You need some tips? Hit a girl up. I'll help you out, because that's what I do. I'm telling you, I'm such a therapist. I've been that way all my life. But that wraps up part 2 of bullying. I hope there was something meaningful and helpful said in video part 1 or 2. I hope there is a takeaway that is meaningful or helpful that you can take away. And these takeaways are not always just for you. If there's a situation you are familiar with, pass it on. Pass it on, because I'm trying to reach hundreds, thousands, millions in these positive videos, these positive intellectual stepping stones to making some really awkward, bad, crazy, weird, strange situations better. That's all I have for your family. As I always say, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Make some comments down at the bottom. Please like the video, subscribe, and send some more people over so we can build this community. Watch out for my lives because I'm going to start doing those. If you're watching this video, I realized I could do lives. Unlike what I thought, I had to build the community and get to certain numbers on YouTube. My mistake. I'll do a video for other people one day and let them know I was mistaken. I thought that's what it was, but it's not. So I've already done my first live. I've done my first giveaway. So catch a live so you can probably win something. Okay? Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.